What is a supermoon? The word supermoon didn't come from astronomy. Instead, it came from astrology. Astrologer Richard Nolle takes credit for coining the term supermoon. In 1979, he defined it as a new or full moon which occurs with the moon at or near, within 90% of, its closest approach to Earth in a given orbit, perigee. In short, Earth, Moon and Sun are all in a line, with Moon in its nearest approach to Earth. By this definition, according to Nolle, there are 4 to 6 supermoons a year on average. In fact, the November the 14th full moon lines up much more closely with perigee, the moon's closest point to Earth, than Nolle's original definition, which allows for a fairly wide latitude between full moon and perigee. The 2016 November full moon happens only about 1½ hours after the moon reaches perigee, the moon's closest point to Earth for this month and year. At perigee, the moon lies only 356,509 kilometers, 221,524 miles, away. 2 weeks before, on October the 31st, the moon swung out to apogee, its farthest point for the month and year, at 406,662 kilometers, 252,688 miles, distant. How super is this supermoon? November the 14th presents the moon's closest encounter with Earth in over 68 years, since January the 26th, 1948. The full moon on November the 14th, 2016, will feature the closest full moon, 356,509 kilometers, until November the 25th, 2034, 356,448 kilometers. Maybe this helps you see that supermoons, while interesting, are fairly routine astronomical events. Occasionally, a supermoon coincides with a total lunar eclipse. The closest supermoon, the full moon of November the 14th, 2016, is not only the biggest, closest and brightest supermoon of this year. It's the closest supermoon since January the 26th, 1948. Should you watch for this full moon on the night of November the 14th? Sure, and, if you do, it'll be beautiful. But, for us in the Americas, the moon is closer to full on the night of November the 13th. The moon turns precisely full on November the 14th, 2016 at 13:52 UTC. This full moon instant will happen in the morning hours before sunrise November the 14th in Western North America and on many Pacific islands, east of the international date line. See worldwide map below. In Asia and Australia, the moon turns precisely full during the evening hours of November the 14th. In New Zealand, it actually happens after midnight November the 15th. Around the longitudes of Europe or Africa, look both nights. Better yet everyone, look both nights. The moon will look plentiful and bright all night long on both nights November the 13th and 14th as it rises in the east around sunset, climbs highest up around midnight, and then sets in the west at or near sunrise. The moon won't come this close to Earth again until November the 25th, 2034. Want the exact time of full moon for North American time zones? Okay. So the moon will reach the crest of its full phase on November the 14th at 13:52 UTC. That translates to 9:52 AM. AST, 8:52 AM Ist, 7:52 AM. CST, 6:52 AM. MST, 5:52 AM. PST. The moon will reach perigee, the moon's closest point to Earth, for this month within 1½ hours of that time. If you live along a coastline, watch for high tides caused by the November the 14th perigee full moon or supermoon over the next several days. Will the high tides cause flooding? Probably not, unless a strong weather system moves into the coastline where you are. Still, keep an eye on the weather, because storms do have a large potential to accentuate high spring tides. The highest tides will tend to follow the crest of the moon's full phase, November the 14th, 2016 at 13:52 UTC, by a day or two. Bottom line, the full moon of November the 14th, 2016, is the closest and largest full moon of this year. By a somewhat new definition, one that has entered the world of astronomy from astrology, many will call it a supermoon. There are 3 full moons in 2016 that meet the definition of a supermoon: October, November and December. But this November the 14th full moon is the most super of the supermoons. A super duper moon.